So my name is Ed McCann. I'm a writer and a producer, and I created Read 650 as a way to sort of design the kind of reading that I would actually want to attend, which is the opposite of the open mic format. It's a curated, submission-based, single-topic performance. And my background is television production, and I wanted to create an experience for the audience that was really good as well, to give them a really nice theater experience. So we present 12, 14 writers in 2 acts. We are a literary nonprofit with a mission to promote writers, and we do that with both these live shows and a weekly podcast, read650.org. We also do some publishing. We have a YouTube channel, but we're still figuring it out, and we have pivoted in this time of COVID, where we really had done all live events, and both with presentation partners, including not only here in New Rochelle, but recently with Carnegie Hall, with Lincoln Center, with the National Arts Club, really prestigious presentation partners. And I feel like that's a kind of currency that will bring other people to us, and it really speaks to the quality of what we're doing.
As a writer, how many books have you written?
I'm an essayist, and I write for magazines. I have a couple of books in the works. I'm a write for hire, but I'm still working on what I consider my work, which it's different from the work that pays the bills, as you know.
So you're based in New Rochelle?
No, I live in the Hudson Valley. I'm actually south of New Paltz. But New Rochelle has been very good to us, and we just love the community here. We love the Ossie Davis Theater. What a nice theater this is to work. And the people here have been tremendously supportive. And there's a lot of good writers in New Rochelle.
Right. So tell us a little bit about your experience of this topic that talks about spirit. Did you have your own experience, or you just share the experience of other writers?
Well, this was, we put out a prompt in the run-up to Halloween, and this was, the topic was haunted, true tales of premonitions, superstitions, and apparitions. And we put a prompt out to see what we would get back. And as you may have heard today, we had, more than a dozen pieces of very interesting stories of people's experiences that really expressed a range of experience, both from feeling like a house was haunted, or people had a visitation, or just kind of a spooky, scary thing that we talk about the sort of the veil between two worlds, and sometimes I think it's a lot thinner than we realize.
Okay.
And so,
as you share, did you share those experiences? You get your own, or
I shared the piece that I chose to share today was about my experience with a fortune teller. And so that was kind of a haunting experience where, as a kid in Brooklyn, a fortune teller held my palm, read my palm, and foretold the future. That to me, it has haunted me my entire adult life, because it felt a bit like a curse. Because as she traced the lines in the palm of my hand, she said, "You will never be rich, but you will never be poor. You will always have just enough to get by." And at 19, that felt like a curse.
Okay.
What do you mean I'll never be rich?
okay?
But I have focused my energy on building a nonprofit with a mission to promote writers, and I feel so privileged to be able to do that and to associate with people that think this matters, that the spoken word and the written word and stories, sharing stories, because sharing stories is what builds community, and it's what brings people together. I think people have been grappling with that question and that idea for millennia, and I think that one of our writers today said it's important to craft a story that works for you.
Right. So you don't want to talk about something you don't really know too much, right?
Well, I'm not. You're asking me what I think about body and spirit, and I must say I don't really have. I don't really think I have any illuminating thoughts to share on that so much.
Right.
If I had a great soundbite for you, I'd hand you one. There you go.
So,
Yorick, I knew him well.
So, Hey TV, thank you a lot.
Thank you. happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
So, my name is Tara O'Grady. I am an author and a singer-songwriter, and I shared a story today at the Ossie Davis Theater for 650 read about my grandmother who died. Because the theme was haunted, and we're talking about spirits and apparitions in preparation for Halloween. So it was about how my grandmother physically came to me the moment she died, and she scared the heck out of me. But it started my whole spiritual awakening. So now I believe in spirits, and I didn't before that, but because her spirit came to me, she let me know she's now always with me.
So you saw her in a dream, or
It was not a dream. She physically came to me. I couldn't see her, but I heard her, and she crushed me. The weight of her crushed me in my bed, and I spoke to her, and then the weight lifted off of me. So I could feel her. What I think is that she was trying to embrace me and give me a hug right after she died, the moment she died. And then once I said her name, her spirit lifted from me. And ever since then, I told her, look, don't ever do that to me again, because that was very frightening. Come to me in a more gentle way. So since then, she comes to me as the song "Stand By Me," which I love.
Right. So did you believe in spirit before? Or
I never believed in spirits before that. I think that until you have a personal experience with it, then you become a believer. And most of the people speaking today were talking about things that happened to them that were true stories.
So are you Catholic or Christianism? Right?
I was raised Irish Catholic, but I pursue my own connection to the energy of the universe now, and I know that my grandparents who are deceased, they communicate with me now on a daily basis. So I'm comfortable with that now, and I understand there's a thin veil between this world and the heavens, and I'm open to it.
Okay, how many books have you written?
I wrote one book that I have with me today. It's called Migrating Toward Happiness.
Okay, how long it took you to write this book?
It took me, the idea of the book was many years, but when I sat down to write it, it took me about 3 to 4 months every day, 8 hours a day writing.
Okay, so it took like 1 year or something?
No, only about 4 months of steady writing.
Okay, so how many units you already sold?
Oh, I don't know how many books I've sold, but it's on my website, taraogradymusic.com.
So are you also a musician?
I am also a musician. I'm a jazz singer.
Oh, okay.
And now I also get the spirits of people like Billie Holiday coming to me, so that's kind of exciting.
Okay, you believe in like Halloween, and what do you normally do in Halloween day?
Halloween is a holiday which was created by, it was a festival, it was that was created by the Irish, and my family are from Ireland. So the Irish actually brought Halloween to America.
Okay.
And the traditions of Halloween are brought from Ireland, which is that's the one night of the year they believe that the spirit world can communicate with the living world. And in Ireland, they used to take the vegetable, the turnip, and they would light a candle in the turnip in their window. But when the Irish came to America, they saw that we had pumpkins, were a much bigger vegetable, and they said, this is better. So that's where the jack-o'-lantern is from.
Right. So, do you know about like the role of the spirits in this world? Can you describe a little bit about what do you know about spirit after getting this experience?
Well, I believe that our loved ones, our family members who have passed on, they are just guiding and supporting us and loving us from a distance. And so you can communicate with them in your dreams or during the day, and anytime you want to pray and talk to them, they're there for you. So we're always being guided. They're just like, I also believe in the idea that the film Star Wars is about the Force. There's the good and the bad. There's the light and the dark. So if you stay positive, then you're surrounded by the positive spirits that want to help you. But if your thoughts go negative, then you're attracting negativity to you.
What you really should need from a spirit if you try to contact them to do, you need something specific?
Your grandmother isn't going to give you something from beyond. You have to manifest that with the universal energy, and you have to take action yourself here on Earth. So, but your grandmother's just still. She might whisper some wisdom to you in a dream, but she's not going to help you win the lottery. That's not going to happen. So don't even try. Oh no, I believe we all have a soul, and our soul is here on Earth to conduct a mission.
Okay.
And when we are finished with that mission, then we can go to the next level. The next dimension.
You feel you start to manifest your mission in this world?
Finally, yes. I'm finally feeling. I think it started when my grandmother's spirit came to me. That awakened me to realize there's more than meets the eye on this earth. There's another dimension, and we are evolving to our higher consciousness, and that's what our goal is.
So do you talk to your grandmother every time, even you don't see her anymore?
I'm always communicating with my grandmother, yes. And I have her picture on my desk, so I say hello to her, and I sing songs that she used to teach me, so she's always a part of my life.
So you believe in that?
I believe in, I don't use the word God. I believe in the universal energy. And God is an energy force, and we have energy in us too. We're all this light, this strong force, and we're all connected. We all have the spirit and God within us.
Okay, so do you accept this reality that you've been created by someone?
I have no idea how we were created. That's the mystery. There's a great mystery that we'll never understand. So I just know that we're here all on a mission, and I'm just trying to spread joy.
Right. So thank you very much, ATV. Thank you for your interview, your beautiful interview.
Thank you.
So, you have a business card?
Yeah.
My name is Corinne O'Shaughnessy, and I wrote a piece. It's going to sound a little crazy, but I'm quite sure that my cat was actually my dead husband coming back to keep eyes on me and help me grieve his loss, because I wasn't there when my husband passed away. And then a gentleman at a party actually channeled my husband to come and tell me that he still loved me and missed me. So that was my experience with hauntings, and it was a cathartic experience to write about it and then to perform it this evening.
So what did you write? You have written a book about it, or just
an essay, a short essay.
Okay,
yeah.
so how long it's been since your husband passed away?
It was actually 4 years ago tomorrow.
Okay, after dying, so it takes a long to come to you?
It took, I inherited his cats. His cats were with him when he passed away. And one of the cats reminded me of him constantly. And then that cat passed away. And 2 days after that cat passed away, then a gentleman just came up to me and said, "There are lights over your head, and they're spelling the name of your husband." He didn't know that, but he told me the initials, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's Jim." And I'm hearing, "I miss you," I'm hearing, "I love you," and then he was getting tapped, and that's what my cat used to do. The cat that I was sure was my dead husband used to tap me every morning and make me pet him and stop doing what I was doing. So that's when I kind of put it all together.
Did you believe in spirit before?
Not for me. I did not believe it with other people, but I didn't believe it would ever be part of my experience. And the irony is that if you had told Jimmy something like this, he would have been like, oh, you're right.
Are you religious?
I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. I was raised Catholic and that wasn't a good experience for me. But I do have a spiritual life that's important to me.
Okay, after this experience, you saw like a new life about spirit, and just to describe a little bit about who you are, or just before you felt like you are soul, and as a human, you got a body and soul.
I have a body and soul, and I felt like it let me release a lot of guilt, and that after this, I felt a lot of forgiveness, that maybe, unpredicted deaths or tragic deaths leave a lot of guilt and bad feelings, and this was kind of like a message from the other side of let that go and love yourself and love others. Just let go of any kind of guilt or bad.
So for you, God exists and also the devil exists. For you, how can you?
No, not for me.
You don't believe in God? You don't believe in devil?
No.
Okay. So how do you live your daily life? Do you feel comfortable just to do what?
I believe there's something I'm very comfortable not naming or understanding what that something is. I'm very comfortable not having answers.
Okay, are you only follow the rules of this universe, or only a spiritual life? Which kind of like connection you have to describe who you are?
My connection is I feel there is something way bigger. I just don't understand or know exactly what it is, and I'm completely fine with not understanding it. I feel like I can understand it the day I do go to the other side.
Okay, so you follow, like, you read Bible sometimes, or?
I have read the Bible in the past as a college student. The Bible is literature. I'm familiar with the Bible, but I don't read the Bible as a standard kind of reading.
Which kind of like ceremony you do when you try to talk to your husband because you believe that he comes to you?
I just talk to him directly. It's not a ceremony. I just talk to him in my head.
You don't burn candle, or you use like type of like perfume?
No.
Okay, so every time you talk to him, you feel he comes to you?
No, not every time. No, not every time.
That's really interesting.
I think he's busy.
So what Halloween represents?
Halloween is fun. Halloween is fun for me. I'm actually living in Mexico now, where they celebrate the Day of the Dead, and I do believe that that is more of a thing to honor your dead, to honor the people that come before you, and to listen if they're trying to tell you something. But yeah.
Oh, right. So you cannot see those people, but you believe they talk to you.
Yeah.
What are you looking for from them? Because you probably already get everything. And what do you think they can bring additionally to your life?
I don't know if I do. I just believe in being open and compassionate and comfortable with not knowing. I just, I think if you, every day you try to help and create more justice in the world, whatever's going to happen next, I can't be afraid.
Thank you, Hey TV. Thank you, NCTV.
You're watching Hey TV.
Okay. Hey TV, I'm Patricia Dunn. I am raised in the Bronx. I live in Stamford, Connecticut, and I do a lot of things here in New Rochelle. I'm a writer. My book that's coming out is called Last Stop on the 6th, which is all about a neighborhood in the Bronx. But anybody that's taken the 6 train would know what this last stop on the 6 is. This is a great event. I love Hey TV and the work you're doing, and thank you for coming out today.
Yeah, so how many books have you written?
This is my second I've written 5, but this is my second one that's published.
You sold a lot?
Yeah, the last book that I wrote was called Rebels by Accident. It was about a girl who's Muslim, because that's my background, and she was sent to go to see her grandmother because she gets in trouble at a party, and the revolution takes place.
Your statement was also about food today?
Yes, yes, because I grew up in a neighborhood where we were all, the Italians are very superstitious. So, yeah, and I believe in spirits. I know people who are psychic. I've seen ghosts. And whatever you feel, I feel like even if you're a scientist, there's an energy out there. How could you not believe it? So, yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your experience with the spirit.
Oh, I got many. Well, I have many people who are psychics, but my biggest experience was when I went upstate New York. There's this one sanctioned area where people who are psychics, you have to go through some sort of test to live there. And my friend said, "Oh, I want to get a reading." And I said, "I'll get my cards read." And I went into this woman's house, and she said, she was an older woman. I could tell how tired she was, right? And she said, "You're from New York. You live in Connecticut. Nothing about me." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "Oh my God, there are so many people with you." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You got about 8 people with you." And then I had my stepfather, my father-in-law, my current husband's mother, a man I didn't even know, but it turned out to be a man who just recently passed, who had a message from my husband, who he knew. All these people had messages for other people. I was just the person to deliver the messages. So it was definitely real, but ghosts don't want to talk to me, they just want me to talk to other people. So that was one experience. But I've had a few. You can't grow up where I grew up without knowing that there's another.
So, do you burn candles?
I burn candles, I'll sage, but I don't believe ghosts are bad. I've been in houses that are with ghosts, and a lot of them are just spirits that are just, some of them actually are helpful. Now, I know people that have been around spirits that aren't so, but they don't think they're spirits, they're just other, yeah.
Do you trust in a God as a creator?
I believe in God, but I believe, as I'm what they call a progressive Muslim, so I believe there's one God that we all share. So, but my feeling is, if you're an atheist, as long as you treat each other well, that's all I care about. Because I know a lot of people believe in a lot of things, but don't do so well on a daily basis with who they work with. So, but I do believe that there is a God. What that God is, everybody can define for themselves. But if at the end of the day that God helps you help someone else, I don't care whether you're Christian, Muslim, whatever you are, Buddhist, I don't know. So you believe in God?
Absolutely. According to you, do you think the devil is a friend or?
I think a devil was an angel that just was too a lost angel.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the devil is necessary. Maybe I watched too much of that TV show Lucifer, but I do. Yeah, but I do think, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I do think that I don't think the devil, or that I think it was an angel that just got a little bit obsessed. Again, there, as we all can be, too obsessed with the love for God and just let their. I think the ego. We all got that in us. As writers, when your ego takes over, you lose yourself.
So you know the reason why people use magic in this universe, like black magic, white magic, and race magic. You get an idea about?
Oh yeah, I have friends who are, they're witches. In fact, they do mostly white magic, or they call. I don't like using white as a positive and black as a negative, but they do a lot of positive magic. And it's actually, if you look at Connecticut in this area, a lot of the people that were doing this kind of stuff were healers, and they were women. And where I moved to, I'm from New York, where I moved to Connecticut, a lot of women were killed just because they were actually doing things to help people with herbs and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I believe there's a lot of power. And I know there's a lot of power in prayer. I've had a child that was very sick, who's very well now, but I think the prayers made a big difference.
Are we planning to write more books?
Yeah, I hope so.
The next topic.
Well, the book that is coming out now his last album is 6, but the book that I just finished, that hopefully my agent will sign, is called How I Killed Your Mother. It's a father-daughter relationship, and the father is a serial killer, but the daughter doesn't know it.
So how many hours do you sleep in a night?
How do I sleep?
Yeah, how many hours?
How many hours? Last night I slept 4 because I binge watch shows. By the way, if you haven't seen Squid, it's disturbing, but it's a very good show. But I sleep 4 to 6. I don't sleep enough. People should sleep.
I know writers, artists, shade
Because we all have to do other things to pay the bills.
I know you're very busy, and you're married, you get paid.
Yeah, well, my kid is grown, but still living at home. So no, but when but artists are not respected. Probably respected enough in this country, so we have to do a million other jobs. So yeah, so I do a lot to try to bring writers together as a community. But I tell writers, artists, you don't do it alone.
Did you sell books enough, like probably to survive? As you already
I don't make my full living off of writing. No, I teach. I do a lot of writing. I teach writing. And I actually help other writers understand they shouldn't do it alone. And if the best advice you could give any writer or artist, find a community of other writers that will support you, not just as a writer, but as a person. Yes, Hey TV! Watch Hey TV and say hey!